What you are about to experience, children, is the ramblings of a clown that has been sniffing glue for more than 6 hours this day. If you do not enjoy him, or you do not want the insanity that comes along with the sorry ass glue sniffing individual that lives in a dumpster, turn your channel now. This is the reason that you should hate your television. What you are about to see, boys and girls, is nothing but absolute crap. Turn your channel. Let's all read together. The show you are about to watch is very offensive. Do us both a favor and turn it off now. Opinions expressed may not reflect those of the producer or channel Austin. More or less what you say on the phone, dumbasses, is not what I may agree to. That's the first warning. The second warning is very much more blunt and should get to the point very directly. Stand by, because here it comes, children, just for you. What it means is you watch at your own risk. Don't cry if your feelings get hurt. Turn it off. Turn it off now. If your feelings get hurt, it's your own fault because you're still watching. Okay. If you're still there, let's go on to some crazier things, shall we? Good evening, my little dumplings from hell. Booger J. Clown here. Tonight, topic, dildo or senator. I don't care what you choose. One is made for pleasure and the other one just fucks you over. That's just the way things are. Accept it. Accept it. Hang on a second. You got the time?
What's up? Dildo.
Excellent. What else you got for me, my friend?
Nah, I just for. So you gonna build the models?
Yeah, I'm for a little kid at one of the homeless shelters. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting together a replica of a 1969 Ford shelled out, which is basically the kind of car I live in during the summertime.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what's up. At least you're doing something. At least you're doing something. Because there's a whole bunch of selfish motherfuckers.
I got some of the good stuff. Check this out.
Oh, you finna get on it?
Oh, that beautiful. I like some of the other stuff better because it's got the orange scent to it, but the straight up good old all-American tuba love, nothing better.
Yeah. See, I hate building model cars. It must get me frustrated as a motherfucker.
Well, you see, this model's going to be a little different. Mine doesn't have an engine, but I got the engine right here, see?
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I still remember I had one where you had to put all these, like, little wires in there. That shit was hard than a motherfucker.
I tell you, man, it's just like, screw it. See, like, some of these got fan belts and fans and shit. It's like, I don't know if I'll put that crap on there or not. I'll just have to see how things work out.
Because I think I still got it somewhere, because I barely got, like, halfway through the end, whenever I gave up.
Here's another thing my car probably isn't going to have is tires. Mine doesn't have wheels either, so I might just put rims on it. How's that? Look, kid, you got rims, and that's about it. Welcome.
Yeah. That sucks. Sure will.
Sweet.
So
you got it all worked out for the holidays, man?
Shit, a little something, just gonna sit here.
Hey, you know, so little something's better than a whole lot of nothing, so it ain't gonna be that bad, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah. Well, okay, peace. Thanks for calling, man. It's my last show of the year, so I'll see you guys next year, all right?
Yeah, all right.
Peace out, my friend. Have a safe one.
Alrighty.
You got the time. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good evening. Answer the topic, please. Okay. Turn down your TV and listen to your phone, and you'll be able to hear me a lot better, and we'll have a better conversation. Please answer the question.
Okay.
I could tell you're hearing me better in your phone now, aren't you?
Yeah, I can hear you really good now.
There you go. Now, do me a favor and answer the question.
Okay.
Look right above me. It says 2 words. Pick one, please.
Senator.
Excellent. What else you got for me tonight? Anything else this evening?
I just want to know, what are you doing?
I'm putting together a model. Like I said, I'm building a model for a kid over at one of the shelters.
Yeah. That's what my next question was. Are you doing this for kids, or are you just?
Yeah, there's a little kid who says, well, I told him I live in a car for the summertime over at one of the wrecking yards, and he said, well, what kind? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll work just hard enough to actually go ahead and get a model, and I'll build you a model of my summer home. So he said, that sounds sweetness. I said, okay, cool. Little son of a bitch is hip enough so he understands the action of it. So he's getting a model built on my summer home.
So how many are you actually going to do?
Just one.
Oh, okay. And where do you get your supplies from?
Actually, I got this over at Hobby Lobby.
Oh, that is awesome. So will we get to see it when it's completed?
Well, we'll see how far along I get. Depends on how much glue I sniff and how much paint I have fun with. But other than that, we'll see how it comes along tonight.
Well, good luck, and don't sniff too much glue.
So what else you got going on? You got something going for the holidays, or you got something cooking?
Actually, no. I'm not too much of anything.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, then again, a nice, quiet Christmas is sometimes the absolute best Christmas, I guess.
Hey, do you know my little brother-in-law? He waits for your show to come on, and we the other night set up and waited all night to see you, and it was some goofy dorks on. We were waiting for you. What happened Saturday night? Where were you?
Oh! I don't do Saturday nights anymore, sweets.
Oh, so what all nights do you do?
Okay, now you see, here's how it works out. Mm-hmm. I was the dinosaur of access television. I was the last of a generation of late night get after it guys.
Okay.
So when they started running me, I basically made a deal that said, okay, look, I'll move to an earlier slot, but what you guys got to do for me is you got to give me 90 minutes. See, because usually shows at this time slot only get 60 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. So I made a deal. I said, look, I will move up, give up late nights, but you give me my 90, and we'll get it worked out so you can shut the studio down on the weekends. So they took me up on the offer. So, hi, how you doing? I'm now Wednesday nights from 10 till 11:30.
Awesome. Before I let you go, I want to know one more thing.
Ask.
What do you have to say about George Bush getting the shoes thrown at him? Just your opinion on that.
I feel that, hey, at least the guy wasn't slinging lead, and I think the guy should not be in jail. I mean, that's basically a protester for the netting of dolphins, throwing his like tuna fish sandwiches at the guys who run Starkiss or something. It's a very decent and excellent form of protest. So I don't think the guy should be jailed. And, even if he would have hit him, he should have took it like a man, George. So, I don't think the guy should be in jail.
And this is the reason why I think my family waits up to see you, because of those answers.
I think they're legitimate answers.
They're great. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. The only reason that I think he should be in jail is because he missed.
Yeah. He ought to be in. Well, they ought to send him to pitching camp to at least teach him how to goddamn throw shit. But other than that, yeah, send him to training camp.
Yeah, basically.
Hell, Send him to Detroit. Oh, no, not that. You ever see a movie called, oh, God, what was that? It's like a spoof on the old Bruce Lee movies and stuff. And the villain says, the guys, the tough guys are like, I can take anything. And guys are like, send him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. So, yeah, no, it's I got no problems with that guy chunking that shit at him because it's an absolutely ass-kicking way of protesting what he sees, how somebody's dicking over his country. And I say more power to the dude,
And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's called Bruce Leroy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what was it?
It's someone named Bruce Leroy that plays the character you're talking about.
Right. But it's Kentucky Fried Movie.
What is it?
It's called Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to go and
this is way back in the 70s. There were two movies that came out about the same time. One was Kentucky Fried Movie, and the other was The Groove Tube.
Okay.
Where it showed like the TV on top of a gorilla, and it was called The Groove Tube. And they're both pretty cool. They're pretty fascinating pieces of work for the time.
Okay. Well, I really don't have much more to say. I wish you the best.
Well, a happy and safe New Year's to you.
Oh, thank you.
And if something else happens to pop in the cranium, I only got 2 lines lit, so there's plenty of time.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And have a good night.
You got the time.
I like when dildos get put in my ass. Yeah, brother.
I figured of all things that you would appreciate a good dildo.
Yeah. So speaking of dildos, last weekend after we had our little talk, I came back in my apartment after I was outside smoking a cigarette, and my roommate had decorated the Christmas tree with a bunch of Pardo and fucking Lone Star cans. Yeah.
Now, did he stick the pages together in a proper manner like we spoke?
I found some special ones tucked away in my drawer with some special sauce on them, and I appreciated those extra nice. I put them in some stew, and we made some nice peanut butter jam, and we fucking put them in our asses, yeah!
Nothing like peanut butter in your butt. Just enough to keep you crunchy.
I know.
Right on.
This model that you're building, I know why you're doing it. It's not because you're doing a good deed. It's just to get high. It's just to get high off that sweet fucking glue, brother. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, bastard. You're giving it all away. Shut the fuck up. Just for that, I'm gonna glue the steering wheel so it doesn't turn. This is gonna be all your fault, you fuck.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas presents, I happened to purchase some ethnically sensitive Christmas gifts for a family that my firm sponsored, and I'm very proud of myself.
What did you do now, Demon?
Oh, just a nice deed for humankind. You know, there's a sane demon, and there's a crazy demon, a demented demon, and I have a little bone to pick with you, clown, because you got inside my roommate's head, and I'm the only person who's allowed to torment his soul.
you know, the fault is on you for that, because let me tell you, if you leave the door open and somebody else walks through it, it's your fault for not locking that door behind you. So, pardon me while I do a little rewiring on that skull, because, hey, if you're not watching the fuse box, I'm rewiring the joint.
The problem was that I left it on, clown. I left it on to some quality programming such as yourself.
See, there you go. Blew it all to shit, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Maybe my roommate will give you a call a little later on, but until then, have a happy new year, and I'll see you when I fucking see you.
See you on the other side of time, fucker! You got the time.
Clown.
Good evening.
Dildo.
Absolutely fantastic. How the hell are you?
Hey, all right. Did you know that every time that you jack off, Chuck Norris punches a midget Mexican's baby in the net?
Damn, are you no? Wait a minute. Are you sure it's Chuck Norris and not Dwight Eisenhower?
I don't know. Sometimes maybe they jack each other off at the same time when they do it.
You know, when Chuck Norris ejaculates, 20,000 Chinese babies are born because his sperm dig through the earth and impregnate Chinese women.
Holy shit. You know what? Every time you jack off, I bet you shit blanks, don't you?
Well, no, I actually, every time I masturbate, I save the world one more less idiot at the time, so that way I'm not impregnating anybody. So you should encourage my masturbation instead of my penetration.
Holy shit.
That's
and
right.
What happens? Are you still homeless?
Huh?
Are you still homeless?
Yeah, still living in that dumpster, baby. Loving every minute of it.
What do you collect?
Aluminum.
You collect women?
No. I don't pimp. You know why?
Why?
Because I don't have that much tolerance for girls just sitting there filling my ear full of their problems.
I don't think too many women would do that.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised on how many pimps just hate their jobs because of all the bitching they hear in their ear constantly.
Oh yeah. What do you do for besides this? What do you do?
As far as like how do I earn money and such and this and that?
Yeah.
I basically just work a few jobs, day labor long enough to just get enough money to get what I need, and then I just hide out for a while again.
Like those clinical studies? I think I could tell you did it.
Oh shit, no, man. They ain't gonna. They are not gonna pump me full of their monkey spunk. No, thank you, sir.
I think you did it.
I will go and do roofing. I will haul sheetrock. I will do a few other things that
Why in the hell are you homeless then?
Huh?
Why in the hell are you still homeless if you're doing all that?
Well, no, you see, like I said, it's a matter of I do it.
Are you a Mexican?
Well, huh?
Are you Hispanic?
No, I am not. I am actually Caucasian.
Caucasian.
So you got a Caucasian.
So you had a cock of an Asian?
Well, you know, I accosted an Asian one time. I beat the hell out of that guy because he was charging me 75 cents for a 50-cent Coke, so I had to accost him.
For some Coke? So you got a cock from an Asian and then stole his Coke?
That's it. I coked the Asian while I was frosting him.
Holy shit.
Because I was sitting there playing with the Slurpee machine and he caught me fondling it. And hang on a second. Oh, how delicious is that?
What the fuck is that?
That's called glue, my dear boy.
Holy shit. Well, I'm not actually watching the show. I'm not actually watching the show because I'm kind of like, I'm in Europe.
You're in Europe, huh?
Yeah.
What part of Europe?
Europe, Malaysia.
You're on satellite?
No.
No, why not?
Because I'm not. I'm in the back of the White House.
You're not on satellite?
I'm in the back of the White House.
Wait, are you smoking a reefer with Willie on top of the White House?
No, I'm in the basement.
Damn. Wait. Are you in the bowling alley?
No, I'm actually in the kitchen with an iron rod.
Right. Oh, the Iron Chef. Right on.
Yeah. Do you like him, the Iron Chef?
Yeah, Iron Chef's pretty cool.
Do you masturbate to Iron Chef?
No. It's kind of hard to It's kind of hard to masturbate to food. It's like masturbating to women. It's something you'll never really get. So actually, what I really masturbate to most of the time is
the whole shopping network.
It's cows and horses.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I do. I see a cow or a nice thoroughbred horse, and I get an instant hard on because you know what those get turned. You know what happens to those animals eventually, don't you?
What?
They get turned into glue.
Holy shit! But you know what though?
Maybe because their penis is really long and yours is the same size as a pig's nipple.
No, some pigs got some pretty long nipples, depending on how many glitters they've had. So I actually might have a pretty long dick. You'd be surprised.
Baby pig nipple.
Big nipply dicks?
No, a baby pig's nipple.
What's wrong with pig nipples? They're sexy.
No.
Pig nipples are sexy.
Do you breastfeed?
Do I breastfeed?
Mm-hmm.
Only on the weekends. Oh,
How much
somebody else
does
is
it cost?
calling. You got the time.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not much. Answer the question, please, my friend.
How about both?
Okay, how about you would like to give a senator a dildo? How's that?
I rather give the senator some dope so he can come back and buy some more.
Oh, you'd rather get him hooked on a dildo? Okay.
Of course, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season to get people hooked.
Well, that's true.
Nah, man, nah. I just short of a little cash. I just came from the mall.
Uh-oh.
Got me a couple of Levi's. Now I can't get rid of the motherfuckers. Now I got to wear them.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Now, how the hell does that go on?
Anyway, so, but what are you making?
I'm making a replica of my summer house.
Oh, summer house.
Yes, I live in a car during the summertime.
Oh. Are you from Austin?
Yes.
Hey, as a matter of fact, I just remembered something. A long time ago, back maybe in '99, I seen you in Albertsons at store.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Off Riverside, and I spoke to you, and I said, "Oh, Biddy," and then you looked and you said, as a matter of fact, I still remember what you were wearing. You were wearing like some the cut off Levi shorts, right? They were like above your knees.
Probably some baggy Levi's, if anything. I never really wore the cutoffs per se.
Yeah, but it was a long time ago, man. I seen you and I spoke. I said, "Hey, old Biddy," and you said, "What's up?" I think you're buying some beer or something. Suspect.
Probably. I was probably out buying some beer. Yeah, or I was getting a little something to eat before I went over to the back room when it was still there.
Oh, right, man. So, like, where you stay at now? You stay south, north?
I'm living in a dumpster behind the drag.
For real, man?
Yeah. But it's an okay living, man. You know, nobody messes with you. It's not too bad, you know. It's just the way things are.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, if I'm in that area and I see you, man, shit, I mean, I smoke a joint with you or something, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You know?
That'd be a good piece of love.
Hell yeah, man. But like I say, man, shit, we just keep doing your show, man, and, and don't stop, and, you know what I'm saying? It's,
I'll be here. Don't worry about it.
All right, brother, man.
Peace and a safe one to you, my friend.
All right.
You got the time.
Senator.
Excellent. What else you got for me?
What about Jack LaLanne? He was mentioned last week's show.
Oh yeah, him and Lawrence Welk, the hard on for the old lady set. You betcha.
All right.
Good old Jack LaLanne and the workout squad. Talk about old ladies who used to get stuck to the couch watching Jack LaLanne work out in the morning. Nothing better. And then in the evenings, they'd be like, right before bedtime, here comes Lawrence Welk and Sweet Dreams of the big bands and swinging with their boys back when they were on their way to war.
All right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I remember old Jack LaLanne. Hell, I don't know if that guy's still alive or not, but I think he is. Shit.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a juicer out.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of fitness products and shit. Always has, from way back in the day, man. He used to, the spring with the two handles on across the chest, like this, ladies.
There we go.
And they'd be like, "Oh, stretch it, Jack, stretch it, yeah, just yeah, They'd be going crazy and shit.
All right, man. Well, I'm a first-time caller, and
sweet.
Have a good night.
You too. Have a great one, man. You got the time.
Dildo, man.
Sweetness. What else you got for me?
I was going to tell you, man, your show is the greatest. I'm fucking lying. Why the hell you hang up with me earlier?
I'm sorry?
Why the hell you hang up with me earlier? I bet you get harder. I bet you get harder to babies getting changed.
No. Now, mind you, a clown tied up being tased. Now that would make me like instantly ejaculate.
Changed. Babies being changed. I bet you go to the orphanage to watch them get changed.
Oh, you mean as in like going over to the old folks' home and watching them change their diapers? I'm really not into poo that much, but thanks for offering. You got the time. Hello.
Hi.
Good evening. Answer the question, please.
Senator.
Excellent. What else you got for me tonight?
Why do those idiots continue to call in and just waste time? Do they have nothing else to talk about?
Oh, no. Mind you, if you don't want to hear them, you can always turn your sound down. They have as much craziness to be here as we all do, and besides, without them, it doesn't make the show nearly as entertaining.
Someone just asked you if you get a hard on from watching babies being changed. Why would you even entertain something that ridiculous?
Okay, let me put it this way. Why is it supposedly that there are rumors that your friend and mine, one of the Rocky Balboa, apparently gets his jollies by laying underneath a glass table and watching females that he has paid to come over to his house drop a line of feces as he lays underneath it masturbating.
What the hell does that have to do with someone asking you, do you get a hard on by a baby being changed? No comparison. That's ridiculous.
No, total comparison. Because it'd be like somebody asking you,
that would make you a pervert.
No, that'd be like, are you into fecal matter? And me, I'm not, but some people are. It's like people who enjoy golden showers. It just happens to be what you happen to be into.
I mean, like, I can't understand how you could entertain. Do you get a hard on to a baby being changed? And you actually entertained it. I just can't see.
No, I didn't entertain it. I merely answered the question yes or no. And I answered no because
And then you responded with something about a nursing home.
Right. It'd be
That's ridiculous.
It'd be like going over and watching the old people get changed over at the nursing home.
Do they pay you to do this?
No.
I'm so happy.
I've never, my dearest, I've never gotten a dime for all the 14 years that I have been doing this show. I have never earned a dime off it.
Okay, next question is because obviously a lot of people do call in and want to hear you for some reason because you caught my attention. I called in and wanted to hear you.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is why don't you get paid?
Okay, I'll tell you the exact reason.
And then you wouldn't be homeless.
Well, no. It's a matter of control, okay? I could go out and I could probably find people to sponsor this show if I wanted to earn money doing this show, okay? But if you start taking that money, if you say, okay, you put your name on that dotted line, you could have the greatest show that, in your own opinion, that you have ever had. And they could come to you and they could say, that was an absolutely wonderful show, but we're going to change one thing because we gave you that money, so we have the right to change that. So I would much rather be living in a dumpster and having complete control over my show than being rich and having butt. That means I'm not going to take it up the butt by somebody paying me so they can control my show. That's not going to happen. I will be poor but very happy and in complete control of my show instead of somebody telling me how to run my show or what they do or do not want in and or around my show.
Do you know how intelligent you are? Why don't you invest this time and energy in something else?
Okay.
I mean, does this just make you happy just doing this?
This is strictly for a hobby. This is just
So
something
what is your? If this is for a hobby, what do you actually do with yourself? I mean, I'm just listening to you speak, and you're very intelligent. Even entertaining the crazy conversations of do you get hard-ons from a baby?
Okay. How's this for a thought? When you first saw my show, you probably had just sudden judgment. It happens to everybody. Let's face it. Everybody looks at a show or something or another, and you look at this and say, "Oh, this guy has got to be just like the stupidest SOB with nothing to say that I've ever come across." Now, you may not have thought that, but a lot of people might. So I sit here and I just try and give life lessons and straight up honest answers. I'm not going to BS you. I'm not going to blow sunshine up your butt. I'm not going to do that because that's not what I'm about. So maybe after you see my show and you see somebody else that's kind of weird or different or strange or something like that, it'll take you a little bit longer to form an opinion about something than you might have before. You'll give something a chance that you might not have otherwise done. So I'm basically here having fun for myself, just messing with people's heads, but maybe in its own way of just opening people's eyes to the differentness in the world around them.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you explaining that to me. You have a good night, sir.
You have a wonderful and a very safe and happy New Year's, my dear. Good night. Good evening. You got the time. What the hell is up?
Not a lot. I guess my answer is senator.
Outstanding. What else can we do for you this evening, my dear sir?
I just moved back to Austin after about 11 years, and you correct me if I'm mistaken, but you were
Ol'Bitty before? Yes, Ol'Bitty is my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's the family resemblance, I'm sure. Alcohol does take its toll on children. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So where were you? What were you doing for 11 years?
I was in San Antonio.
Okay.
Not too far.
Now, question for you. Does San Antonio, I know San Antonio has an access system, but is it any of it live or is it all taped?
There's a little bit of live. It's pretty bad in comparison to Austin.
See, because I might be heading down towards San Antonio sometime, and I was wondering if they did any live call-in shows or not.
There are a few. There's not many. Most of it's all taped.
Well, I might have to go down and change that sometime. Don't you think a nice, innocent, good-looking clown like me would have a fun time on San Antonio Access?
Probably so, but I think we'd miss you up here.
Well, you know what I do is I tape my shows down there and run them up here just so you guys could get your fix.
Oh, well, that'll work. I was wondering, this might be off topic. Like I said, I just moved back. Do you know if Corey Coleman or the Show with No Name guys are still involved?
Charlie from Show with No Name is no longer doing his show. And what did Corey used to run? He used to run Movie Thing or whatever?
Yeah, Real Deal?
Yeah, Real Deal. No longer doing it.
That's a shame. Well,
like that's why I was saying a few minutes ago, I am the last of the dinosaurs, my child.
Well, it's good to see at least some of the old faces on. I'm glad your show's still going.
Yeah, well, you know how some nightmares just never go away. It's just the way things are, man.
That's right.
So, but yeah, I'm pretty well one of the last dinosaurs still surviving down here because they've changed management and stuff. So I'm still doing my best to bring the worst of Austin out.
Well, that sounds good. I'm glad you're still around, and if you move to SA, good luck down there.
All right, I appreciate that.
All right, take care.
Have a good and safe holidays, my friend.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye. You got the time.
10:34.
Wrong. Have a nice night. You got the time. Good evening. Hello. And you hung up. I appreciate that. You got the time.
Dildo.
Excellent. What else you got for me tonight?
Man, I want to talk about that bitch that called in earlier talking shit, talking about who would think of that shit.
Okay, now run that by me one more time.
I want to talk about that bitch that just called in a while ago.
No, hang on. Right now, so far, no bitches have called in. I haven't heard any barking on my phone line. So, if you want to pay your respects, you say that woman who called in or that lady who called in. That's fine. But unless you want to say that B word again, we're just going to have to cut you off at the knees.
Damn, you're respectful?
Yeah, because you know why? She was literate. She was literate. She made points, and she had her act together. Unlike most of the people who call in this show, she actually kept it together long enough to get her point across.
Well, let me get my point across.
Okay, then you say the woman who called.
Well, the woman who called, it's 10:30. I'm calling a clown show. This ain't no Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil comes on Mondays. After she sits at home with her little...
You got the time.
What's up?
Answer the question, please.
The first one.
I'm sorry?
Dildo.
Dildo. Dildo.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like your motor car.
I'm sorry?
I like the stuff you're doing right now. Your motor car.
Okay, I am totally lost on what you're saying.
That stuff you're doing right now on TV.
Oh, you like what I'm doing on TV?
Yeah, because that's what I do for hobbies. I do that. I smoke weed and do that.
Oh, okay, sweet. You like building models?
Yeah, you will.
Cool. I thank you very much.
Yeah, peace.
Peace. You got the time.
10:37.
Still wrong. You got the time.
Hello.
Good evening. Answer the question, please.
Dildo.
What else you got for me?
Hey, why the fuck you hang up on me, man?
Like this? You got the time. Good evening. Hello. Any year. You gonna answer? You gonna speak to me? You gonna?
Yeah. A quick joke.
I'm sorry?
Quick joke.
You gonna answer the question or not?
Yes. Dildo.
Excellent.
Okay, yes. Dildo, quick joke. What's long, black, and yellow, making a lot of noise?
Me. You got the time.
Yeah, Dildo.
What else you got for me?
I got a question. Why did you pick something, it says dildo or senator? They're both the same.
No, actually, one you use on yourself for pleasure. The other gets used on you for pain.
Okay, that's fair enough. I can go with that.
See, they're two totally separate things. One gives you pleasure because you do it yourself. The other brings you nothing but pain, even though you have to have it somewhat, but it still causes you nothing but pain. So.
Right. So if you're a masochist, you
go with senator.
Then you go with senator. Okay.
Right. And then if you are a self-pleasurist and you know how you like it, then you go for dildo.
Okay. I thought they were both the same. I'm happy
you
educated
no.
me on that.
Completely different things.
Okay. Well, I guess we could have went senator first or dildo.
Well, it all depends on how much pain you want to cause yourself. That's how you figure that out.
That's good. How do you pick the names, by the way?
Huh?
How do you pick the names?
How do I pick my topic?
Yeah.
I look at the time and I realize it's about 5 minutes till the show, and I sit down and I rack my brains on two things. I usually try and do two things that have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with each other.
Right, but senator and dildo came pretty close.
Yeah, they basically do have somewhat closeness to each other, and I figured, I might as well just do something close tonight just to be a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
It was like the time I chose 357 or PTA. Those are two things that pretty well go together.
Right.
And that's why I chose those things, because it's just I didn't feel like having to work that hard. But most of the time, if you notice, I try and pick things that have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to do. You got to really sit down and figure out, like blender and plywood really have nothing in common. like orange and alternator, or just
Right.
just different things. It's really hard to figure out sometimes something that has absolutely nothing to do with the other thing.
Huh. Hey, I'm from a different part of the country, and it's interesting. Austin is one of the few places. I'm from the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, and even lived in parts of California. They don't have these access programs to this degree.
Well, I know. You New York's got a fairly famous access.
Not like this. Not even close.
Well, they've got a few shows that have made things go, but they all commercialize and sell themselves.
Right.
Now there are guys here who try and do that, and guys who go out and get sponsorships. But as you heard me discussing earlier, I don't want to do that. But it's all just a matter of personal choice on that. There are people who are chasing the dollar, and there are people who did that long enough, like I did, to realize that even if you catch it, the only thing you want is more of it. So the best way to get that out of your system is to go the opposite way, away from it.
Right. And how do you survive eventually? I mean, there's no balance there. You're going from one extreme to the other.
Well, you find your happy medium after you finally get your system cleaned out. You can do that without hitting bottom, but you can find a space in which you yourself are satisfied with who you are. You are finally really realizing it's like, well, wait a minute. When it all boils down to, it's not if other people can stand me, it's can you stand yourself? Where is your medium? So then after you figure out who you really want to be, then you work to the point to where you get to that level and you stay there. Now, there are some people who say, look, I am happy with myself when I'm living in one of the towers.
Right.
So you go out, you educate yourself, or you bust out and you just blow your ass out to the point to where you get to where you want to be at, and then you work hard enough to maintain that. Me, I worked it all for a while, and I said, screw it, because I got real tired of being under the point of all somebody had to do was take that thumbnail and go, and I was out. Because in that point, you're not really in control. I much rather would be in control of which way my life is going to go. So, hey, if I want to go bust my ass and do better, no problems. But if I just want to sit back, relax, and watch it all go by and laugh at it as it goes, that's what I chose to be. And what's cool about that is I actually have the choice about it. It's not a matter of, hey, you worked for 28 years, we're cutting back, here's your pension. Well, what was left of it after the stock market, and good luck. I would rather live in a dumpster and say, hey, I need about half a Franklin to get through the month and just give people a hand if I want to, or don't have to worry about my cell phone going off and somebody talking to me about their problems because I no longer want to deal with that. Do you realize how much quieter and calmer your life is without one of those little squeaky boxes in your pocket?
Right.
God, talk about just the most beautiful. When you're just standing there and you're watching all these people walking around, and you think of the old days of you had to trust somebody enough to where you didn't have to do that.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question. Could you still have a quality of life and eat well and still without any type of money or just such a small amount of money and still have health? You got to take a dump somewhere, you got to live somewhere, you got to pay a rent. You say live in a dumpster, you're going to walk into the McDonald's, take a crap there and leave because you want to shower. You want some type of balance. How do you beat the system that way?
Oh, the system's easy that way. Dumpster probably runs me half a Franklin because that's what I slide the guy in the truck to leave it there, to leave it listed as an active dumpster. So that cost me about half a Franklin.
Right.
So As far as getting showers and stuff, there's the churches or YMCA. The churches, hey, you got to sit there and listen to how beautiful and sweet God is. But you know which preachers you like and which way they're giving the sermon. So it all depends on a matter of tolerance. So you sit there and you go through it, and then you get your meal and you go take a hot one. You can take a Navy bath pretty well out of a can right sitting next to your place, because on a nice quiet evening, you're pretty well left alone, and you can just stand behind your dumpster and take a Navy bath out of a can that you got cooking by some sterno.
Okay.
It all depends on, if you got something you got to do the next day where you actually want to be smelling fairly decent, or if you just want people to just totally stay away from your level of odor,
Right.
And as far as food goes, hey, there's a whole lot of people still throwing away a whole lot of food. So what can I say? If you want a hot one that you actually want to get into the place, you hit the can, you go down to the YMCA, you get a shower. You can actually work out with the weights and stuff. You head over to the library, you figure out, what you want to read, and then you go out and get yourself a hot one because you actually went out and worked about 3 days on a decent job because they actually ran by your dumpster because they trust you to do the work and they needed you.
Oh. Okay, well, I hope that doesn't happen to me yet.
Yeah, and it all depends on if you're around. Sometimes you miss a good job that'd be like quick, easy, fast cash, but you weren't there. So, such is life. But there are times when you look right at them and say, well, who's working the job? And they say, oh, this guy and that guy. And it's like, man, you got to be joking me if you think I'm working with that idiot. And it's really nice because then you're the one saying yes or no instead of them looking at you saying, oh, hey, you go over and work with that guy and say, and you can't look right at him and say, hey, why don't you go work with him and go, yourself? Because then he's going to look at you and say, well, hit the line where you're in control. You can sit there and say, thanks for the offer, but I'm passing because that guy's a moron and it's going to slow me down. And tell you what, you put this guy on it and we're good. But if you can't spare him, then, I got better things to do. Like go back to snorting some of this and, sitting there watching the world go by on a park bench.
Thank you so much.
Hey, like I said, it all depends on the level you want to be at. See, a lot of people keep chasing that little good old decimal point as to which way it's moving. And they will climb on the bodies of the dead to get to the point to where they want that decimal point at, when you really got to stand back and you got to say, pull out that pencil behind your ear, erase that decimal point, and then step back through the door and look at the room to figure out where you want to be at as to far as how that room looks.
Right.
As to what you're chasing. And it's a matter of, it's true as you can do what you truly love for a living. It's just a matter of, if you want to do something that a lot of people are doing, you've really got to bust it out to be better than those guys, to make yourself stand out. And then there are guys who just want to hit the alarm on the clock, get up, slug it out, go home, eat dinner, wrap yourself up, and wait for the alarm clock to go again because it's routine and that's what you follow and that's where you want to be at.
Interesting. You believe there's any existence after this game? Or you just think you just go in the box and the little bugs eat you and that's it?
I had a friend of mine, we had a recent and decent discussion about that, and he says that the person we call our being, our creator, lives vicariously through us. So basically, when you go to the other side, you go and you sit and you talk with the man and you plug in with him and you tell him what you did and how things went. And he said, wow, that was cool, or that wasn't so great, but it's what it is, you know. And then you either say, well, what's the next trip? So, you know, I think it's a constantly rotating thing. I figure I figure time just repeats.
Right.
So I figure, you know, sooner or later we'll be back here, but it'll be slightly different. Or you go through other times, or you just go out, you float, and then you figure out where you fit in, and who knows? But you know, this is just a vessel, and this is just a certain time, and as far as we know, we think, you know, time is this, but time may be something completely different. And everybody sits there, it's all about time, it's all about time. I said, no, man, it's not. It's all about the existence. It's like, well, some people are doing great things, yeah, but for every person who's doing great things, there are 9 other sorry sons of bitches doing the opposite. And they say, well, good always wins over evil. Not around here, bro. As far as I can see, evil's kicking the hell out of a whole lot of people. But if you can do a few things to make the things around you better, then when you go to the dude, you can sit there and say, well, I need a little more time, or I need a little better space where I can maybe do a little bit better job. So who knows?
Okay. Thank you again.
Hey, you know, it's my pleasure, man. It's a decent. How do you feel about it?
I've had personal paranormal experiences where I've seen a separation of myself, and I don't do any type of hallucinogenics. I don't, you know, take any type of
Basically, you have the ability to separate your energy spirit away from your physical vessel.
Right.
And you go into the shadows, but you've got to be very careful about how you do that, because you got to make sure to take the keys with you to either A, get back in, or B, lock it up while you're away to make sure that nobody else does.
Well, I'll give you a better story. The reason that happened with me, because I was probably so much in darkness and so much into naiveness of such an unawareness of anything outside of myself. That's how the situation happened, or I would have been one of those assholes that you're talking about on TV that was looking to suck a dollar bill. So I probably fell into that category. So there was a part of me saying, hey, jerk, you know, you're going to die a lot sooner than you think if you keep following whatever you're following. And I guess I didn't realize that difference, so I probably had to have some type of experience.
Well, there are people who have those experiences and wake up with the better part of it, or people who wake up from the experiences and do a Scrooge and say, "Oh, bad Chinese."
Right.
And go right back to what they were doing. You seem like somebody who, when I said the statement of chasing the decimal point, I could see you shaking your head saying, yeah, that's how it used to be, but
you're right.
You're on a different path now, but I don't know which path you're on.
I'm definitely on a lot more, I would guess, giving spiritual path. I've never been married. I don't have any type of family, no kids, nothing like that, only child. I'm not looking to screw anybody, and I'm not looking to get screwed myself. I'm basically from the East Coast. I'm down in Austin, getting involved in a lot of these. I don't want to sound too off topic, but a lot of these topics where things are the 2012 thing, that something's happening now with the government. So I'm trying to wake myself up to see the reality of, you know, they just gave out $800 billion and this country's basically bankrupt. So I'm trying to understand what's going to be happening possibly in the next couple of years, and where would be a good place to put myself so I don't get my ass kicked. Meaning, you know, if I'm in the wrong area, it can be in New York or California.
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, great.
2012, everybody keeps thinking that the big rock is coming back and the spaceships are going to come down, or there's going to be world wars and
Right.
this and that. I'm going to tell you
Great.
exactly what's going to happen. Is by 2012, your paycheck, my paycheck, anybody, anything earns, 80% of it is going to be going to pay back past debts.
Right.
Not created by us.
Right.
We'll still have our little bit and we'll be happy, but one day, and we'll be in our, we're in our 40s right now. Some 18-year-old on a computer somewhere is going to send a wake-up message to the generation coming up saying, by the time we get to our 30s, we will have no paychecks. We will have government houses. It will be a rollerball kind of society, and I'm not going there. So the real revolution is not going to come from space. It's not going to be other countries. It's basically going to be the young people finally waking up to the fact that the couple of generations before them fucked them so hard in the ass, they're finally tasting the dick in their mouth.
Right.
So what's going to happen is a fire sale.
Right.
And we will be so tied into computers by that time that whoever controls the computer systems will control a lot of things that go on. So imagine a world where suddenly your cell phones no longer work, whether they're monitored by the government or not. They just suddenly stop working and everybody has to have a landline. Everybody has a garden out back of their house. And all debt goes back to zero.
Right.
Now, if you're a major corporation guy and you're the kind of guys who basically took out John Lennon because he was not going to start speaking out against the government. He was going to start speaking out about major corporations and how they were truly treating the world. So your biggest concern is the fact that someday somebody's going to wake up and tell everybody, hey, what are you tasting? And they would hate to have a world where people actually controlled what they did. They suddenly became farmers, or they actually, instead of going out and going to a mechanic and giving them money, they would do the hippie days of trade for the work.
Right.
No money exchanging hands. This is the 2112 nightmare that they are trying to scare you shitless into believing due to the fact that they don't want that to happen, and they will use anybody's troops or any way that they can to control what they want to control.
Yeah, but they're pretty much doing it. They have the pharmaceutical companies.
Right. Major
corporate
drugs. Yeah, politicians.
Right. They're all
it is not a political government. It is a government controlled by business.
Right.
Right. The best place to be is to buy yourself an old missile silo out in the Arizona desert.
Okay.
And camp out for about 10 years.
You're right.
In your silo with a group of people that, can survive with one another, spits and spats, but truly survive together while all things crash.
That's not a bad idea. It's a warm climate. Get some thousands of cans of food, tuna, canned chicken, get bottled water. And
Actually, most of those things Most of those silos actually have to be pumped
Oh.
dry because they are natural water collectors.
Ah.
Because they go so far down, they're below the water table.
Right.
So that water can be filtered and used for the crops up and above. Your biggest problem in the future when you would do that is to A, keep the wind generators running.
Right.
Because you will be generating power and you will be noticed on the grid, or figuring out ways to hide your solar cells that are coming in.
Right.
You'd have to disguise them as basically Earth. So even though you're pulling power, they wouldn't recognize where the power was coming from.
Right.
You'd have to run. Basically, what you do is you build caves through the hills, and you put the turbines in the caves themselves. So when the wind howls through the caves, they hit the turbines, and you have wind generators there, but not out on the sticks. You can use those as falsies without generating any power, but you want, where the natural wind goes through the valleys, you want to create caves there, because as they go through the caves, they actually turn faster because it's going from large to narrow, and they generate more power.
Right.
Very simple, very basic. And it's just a basically way to be able to generate enough power for the lights for the grow fields underground. You can also do that by running clear glass fiber optics down above the crops, because they love that a lot better than the artificial light. The fiber optics, they love that because that's almost pure sunlight. And out there, even in the dead of winter, you got no blockage because there's nothing to stop it from shining down.
Okay.
But as far as 2012, the end of it all, this is the same kind of thing that's going on for, oh my God, it's the millennium.
Right.
000001.
Right.
It's all going to no. Until some person from another place comes up and shakes my hands and gives me 5 and say, "Hey man, how you doing?" I say, "Hey, what's up, my brother? If you want to take it over, please do. It's got nothing to do with me." And they say, "Well, you're one of the reasons that this place will be taken over by those people." I say, "Yeah, you know why? Because as far as I know, I'm looking around saying, we just ain't doing so hot. Maybe somebody else deserves a chance."
Yeah.
If I had the money or the gumption, I'd be running out and buying myself a couple of missile silos, doing the wind turbine, and also doing the methane off of my own waste to produce methane for heat and food.
Right. You don't need anything. You don't need anybody.
It'd be great. And you get a colony of about 25, 26 people. Everybody has a certain task. Everybody cross-trains with everybody, so in case somebody isn't feeling well or somebody's off doing something else, they can take care of the problem when it arises.
Right.
So you can't sit there and say, well, we can't fix it till Joey shows up. No. You can look at the problem. You can say, okay, Joey said if this happens, do this, that, and this. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Everybody sits down and goes to class on what everybody else knows.
Definitely. Very good idea.
It's not that hard. It's just a matter of taking that step. I took that step.
Obviously.
And, people sit there and say, well, you're homeless. No. I have a home. I just do not wish to no longer participate in your show, in your world. I want to live outside of a grid. Why? Because I was one of those power cogs. I'm much happier being just the grease. No squeaks, no bothers. If somebody needs and I got it, and I feel like giving it up, hey, no problems. I'm not going to ask for anything because I don't want to have to stick out my hand and have it come back missing a couple of fingers.
Right.
Everybody should be able to be self-sufficient in their own way. A whole lot of people out there, because of wanting better, want. We are now in a section where it's, okay, all these systems are collapsing because systems or people designed it so everybody would have so much rope. And now when that rope is being hauled back, a lot of people are swinging by air because that's the way some people supposedly designed it. I don't know if they did, and I don't care.
Right.
And if we had been taught properly that when you're still knee-high to a grasshopper, you learn what money is. You shouldn't know what an allowance is until you're 10, or you shouldn't care about how your mom and dad pay those bills until you're 10. But even as knee-high as a grasshopper, money.
Right.
No. You want something? Fruit. This, that. You want something? We'll barter. We'll trade. We will do it the old way. Because if I teach you the old way, when the new way crashes and they have no freaking idea how to deal with it, those of us who still know the old ways will help the ones that we consider worthy enough of the new ways that have no idea what's going on, how to survive by the old ways. And they sit there, well, you should do that for everybody. You can't, there are not enough lifeboats on this Titanic to save everybody. That is ridiculous. That is how the hippie movement in San Francisco, in that area, died in one summertime because all the kids from the colleges heard about all these groovy things, and they tried to accommodate all the kids, and they destroyed it because there was nothing else. It was like Woodstock. The town, it was a great concert. It was the ultimate back then. It was something that was truly wonderful, but it was something that, because of that wonderment, something else got destroyed. Haight-Ashbury.
Right.
Absolutely fantastic. Good concept. No city government. No need. Car's broken, Johnny, but I know you got some clothes you need mending. Fix my alternator. I'll fix your britches.
Right.
Way to go. Right on, bro. Sweetness. Summer of Love. It was great. And it wiped it all out.
Right.
Because they tried to help everybody. You have to know when to say the hard. You have to learn the hardest thing in the world. No. Can't do it. Want to. Would get everything to be able to do it. But can't. Because to make this survive, some of it's got to go. And it's a hard thing to pull that trigger, but if it's rocking and it's set at a number, then until something drops out, this door stays shut and you can't help everybody. Because if you open this door, this dies.
Right. This is deep for you tonight.
No, it's just a matter of forethought.
Right.
Coming from you, I know this is what you think constantly.
Right, I do, 100%.
But the thing is, your hardest problem is pulling that trigger because you're still thinking in large numbers, and that's your dilemma.
You're right.
Because you're sitting there saying, how do I and everything around you still in Austin is Seattle, Washington, blah, 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 blah. Good concept. Great concept. Too many people in a lifeboat. If you want to change it, if you want to pull that trigger, if you really want to get down to brass taxes on a situation, and you really want to make it happen, then what you do is you sit down and you compile a list. You get the 50 that if you had room in the lifeboat, you'd take these 50. And then you start cutting.
Right.
And you cut. And it gets harder. And it sucks even worse. And it's a grind. And it's making you cry. And it's making you weep because you can't leave them behind. You got 20. 20's a word, Daddy.
Wow.
And then what you do is when you get down to those 20, then you go to work. Then you take the 20, no matter where they are, and you sit down and you figure out a way to take the 20 and get them together. And once you have the 20 together, you stand up and you draw the picture and you say, okay, children, the 20 have gathered. This is why I have brought you here. And your 20 will teach each other. You have to get together. You have to have this together to the point to where you can spend about 4 weeks to 6 weeks together. You got to burn a month.
Right.
Okay. And everybody teaches everybody else every single damn thing they know. Everybody stands up in front of that board and you says, this is what I know. This is my knowledge. This is where it is. This is where I think it's going. And you figure out all together where you think it's going. Okay. Then on the last day, you look at all these and you say, I sat down and I did my 20. I want everybody to do 3.
Oh.
And they say, well, you did 20. You say, yeah, I did 20. I'm not going to put you through that pain.
Right.
Because that will crush you.
Right.
And then your friends, when they see you, would say, you look so different. So, yeah, because you are here. That's why I am different, is because you are here. But you tell them 5. Pick your 5. Go down to 3.
Right.
Take your 3. Get your 3 together. Teach them your knowledge that you have learned here and get from them what you can get from them.
Okay.
6 months later,
Right.
the 20 meet again and teach each other what their 3 taught them. And if one comes back and says, well, I got all this from all these others as well.
Right.
Then they are turned free and another one off that list is brought in.
Right.
And you can sit there and say, well, they brought so much more knowledge. They opened the door. You have to have people strong enough to be able to, while you are away, or if somebody else isn't there, to keep that door closed.
Right. That makes sense.
It's not a matter of the iron fist. It's a matter of trust.
Right.
It's a matter of understanding. It's a matter of, well, these are all, then go to them and teach them. But from this group, you have learned all you can. and go on your way.
Right.
And another one off that list is brought in to see if the group can maintain.
Okay.
Remember, you're the one who called me.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, I love it. Let me tell you something. This was the highlight of my month's being here. Okay.
It's just a matter of how much you are willing to put into it. It's no longer a matter of dollar amount, because we both know that that's not to the point of mattering.
Well, I got to compliment you. You're better than Alex Jones.
Alex could do a lot better. Alex would be Rush Limbaugh if he could keep himself together for more than 28 minutes. Because when you sit there on TV and you bounce your head around like a chicken, it's just the juggling show. If you notice, Rush Limbaugh sits extremely still, does very little hand movement when he's talking about something he really wants people to get, because he wants them to pay attention to the words, not the movement.
Right.
Alex, if he's trying to make a point, if Mr. Limbaugh is trying to make a point, I'm going to tell you something very important. And it's something you should truly listen to. Because when you get those 20 together, you're going to need to also make sure that you're mixing different people of different cultures. So now, though, the fact that you've had to cut down your list, you also want to keep the past with you, but you don't want a certain past. What you truly want is a past of diversity.
Right.
Much more powerful than is this.
Right.
Yeah, it's something's coming, but it's a matter of what can you do. I wasn't born into that, and there's no way I can beat it. But if I can help some people get out of it, then even if it crashes and it all goes away, the ones I have learned or taught and been with that know how to survive without it can help those who are lost because they no longer have it.
Right.
50 to 20
Right.
to 3.
All right. I got it.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you again for your time.
No sweat. But yeah, isn't it kind of weird that some of the best advice you're probably going to find is sitting behind a table with face paint on?
That's why I called. I give a shot with everything, you know? You never know. I don't judge.
like I said, it's a matter of, I can tell that you are a person who is not afraid to open doors, but you're somebody who you are braver than I. I'm not willing to close the door behind me. You've got that. You could get in your truck today.
Right.
And you could close the door in the house and drive out and never look back.
That's correct.
I don't have that ability. That is a bit of jealousy in me. Is I don't have the ability to pull that trigger. Now, I can encourage you. I can give you all kinds of ideas. I'm not going to shove you through that door. But you have the ability, and I know you do, to walk through that door and never look back. I can't do that. It's just one of the ways things work out is I've got the ideas. I just can't squeeze that trigger. I can't walk through that door and leave it behind. But then again, for the reason I am here is for you, for those who look. I am merely one of the persons who hands you the torch and say, there's the door, and the best of luck.
Hey, thank you again, and I owe you a free dinner.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Just stop by for a tall six-pack or a tall boy, and we'll sit down and we'll see how we're going.
Okay.
And if you need help on the list, let me know.
Okay. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Be well.
You got the time.
Dildo.
Excellent. What else you got for me?
Hey, man. I just had one quick question. Well, actually, I had a couple questions for you. But first of all, I just want to talk about the mistreatment of Jewish people during the high holidays, specifically right now.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, I just want to get your opinion on that, and like, you know.
My opinion on what?
On, you know, I mean, how are you to Jewish people?
I'm fine with them.
Well, that's good, but you know, most people who celebrate Christmas aren't particularly, you know, a fan of Jewish people.
I don't necessarily celebrate Christmas. I celebrate the spirit of Christmas. I don't celebrate the giving of gifts or anything, and I am merely doing this to actually make somebody's day, not a holiday in particular. Even if this would have been like the 3rd of like November, I'd still be doing this because the kid was straight up with me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. How long have you been doing this whole thing?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been on public access? This is my first time watching your show.
I've been here on and off for about 14 years.
Wow. That's amazing. Have you lived in Austin your whole life?
Not my whole life. I've probably been here for about 25 years.
Wow, man. That's awesome. The guy before, what the hell were you guys talking about, and why wouldn't he shut the fuck up?
Number one, if you are truly into where he was at, you'd understand where we were going.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, hopefully you'll come to understand it. But for right now, let's just say that he's somebody who's on a journey that I would love to take, but I can't.
Okay. Well, can you try and like get me to where like that level that you guys were, you know?
No, there's no way I could get you there because I have neither the time nor the patience to do so.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a self journey. It's something that you have to want to start yourself. So, if I was you, I really wouldn't worry about it.
All right, man. I'll try not to worry about it, but I just have some things in my head that I just can't get out. You know, like the thing I was telling you about, the mistreatment of Jewish people during the high holidays, just fucked up.
Well, you know, if you keep worrying about religion, you're gonna miss the world going by. You got the time.
Clown.
Good evening.
Senator.
Excellent. What else you got for me tonight?
Oh, well, I had a lot of things for you until that guy took up like 45 minutes of the show.
No, he didn't. I did.
Well, you did. I mean, I didn't even know. I think that glue or that paint, something's hitting you a little too hard. Because it really, I was having trouble following what was going on there. It seems like.
Okay, let me put it this way, okay? To clown, that conversation was on a totally different plane. You see, we have this time together and we're about here. The conversation I was having with that guy was basically to a level of right here because we were not talking through the phone and the television and TV and all this stuff.
Were you guys telecommunicating through your brains?
With me and him, I have never met that man before in my life. I have never heard his voice until then. And he was sitting right across the table from me while we were having that conversation. I could picture his face. I knew exactly what he looked like.
Clown, I don't mean to interrupt, man, but that glue, that paint, I don't know what the hell is going on in that model, but it's hitting you hard. I'm worried about you, brother.
Well, don't be worried. Don't be worried about you. Actually, you know what you should be doing? You should be feeling great joy for Clown on that conversation because Clown actually talked to somebody he had been wanting to speak to for a long time.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, but I mean, you just told me that you pictured him sitting across the table from you.
Yep.
I mean, that's just it just bewilders me on how that can happen. I mean, it took up 45 minutes. I'm sure I'm not the only, person that's upset. Demon had to leave the apartment. I don't even know where he is. He's gone.
No. Do you know why Demon ran from the apartment?
Why did Demon run from the apartment?
Because Demon could see that dude's face in front of him as well.
Oh my God! I maybe, you know what? I wonder. I'm gonna have to go outside and look for him. But
No. Demon will come back. Demon will come back in about 45. He'll be back. He'll be back in about 45 minutes. And as soon as he walks in the door, you can look right at him. You say, "Don't worry, the white lighter is gone."
I mean, he just ran out of here. He was, and I haven't seen him since. I mean, he came in here.
He ran out like somebody threw a pan of scalding water on him, didn't he?
Basically, I mean, he freaked out because the tree was decorated with the ornaments from last week, and he wasn't too happy about that. I mean, he was happy with the presents and magazines I left him and stuff. But I mean, it's just, I mean, I wanted to talk about the one thing I wanted to point out is how you talk about the old school people. What happened to that girl Leg and Smoker X? Do you remember them?
Yeah, I remember Leg and Smoker X.
The last time I hung out with them at the 21st Street Co-op downtown, and we were smoking and drinking, playing pool, having a grand old time. I leave. I moved back home for a couple years, and I come back, and she's gone.
Well, Leg is now living in another state. Her and Smoker X still talk somewhat. Smoker X is still in town.
Maybe he can get a spinoff. Maybe he can get a spinoff for his own thing.
Oh, no. Smoker X is perfectly happy being just who he is, man. You need to leave the Smoker X be because the Smoker X is right where he belongs.
Yeah. So you're not coming on until after New Year's, huh?
Yep, this is the last show for the end of this year, but my year could not have ended better, man, because like I said, a lot of people out there in Austin are sitting there scratching their heads saying, what the hell was all that? But there are certain people who are listening to that conversation, and as that conversation went along, lights came on. And that was a beautiful thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Okay. You have a Merry Christmas, brother.
A very merry and safe and beautiful Christmas to you too, my friend.
All right.
Peace. If you know somebody with AIDS, give them a hug. It is the best medicine in the world. OLBITTY 3 a.m. at Yahoo. MySpace/Austin Clown. If you want to be my friend or find out a little bit more about Booger J Clown. Peace, love, peace be with you. Good night.